And welcome to Kayfabe is Not Dead. I'm your temporary host, Dr. Dapper, and your current podcast predictions champion. Now, this episode is episode 19. Today is the day after SummerSlam. So, we already had our predictions laid in. I am going to start today's podcast with saying I have some bad news about our host CJ. While at the hospital, even though we did get his predictions in, he had a setback and he had to be put into a medically induced coma. So with that being said, all Kayfabers out there, let our prayers and wishes go out to CJ. Hope he gets better. I know he will. Just because he was champion. He had the title taken from him, not by choice. And so, hopefully we can find out what happened with this mysterious attacker, and justice will be served. But I know CJ would want us to continue on. So even though today is the day after SummerSlam, I'm going to go over the results. Jess is at the hospital with CJ, and so I'll be heading that way once we finish. But, in a lighter note, to start off, we had the kickoff show. We had The Miz and The Miztourage versus Jason Jordan and the Hardy Boys. Now, all in all, this really wasn't that bad of a match. I mean, the Hardy Boys do what the Hardy Boys do. Jason Jordan came off strong, threw out a couple of belly-to-belly suplexes towards The Miztourage, but just like The Miz does, he did not shady tactics, but he's a thinker. He's always on his toes. He's always assessing the situation. And you can't hate him. He schools the baby faces. I mean, in this instance, The Miz and The Miztourage defeated Jason Jordan and the Hardy Boys because while Jason Jordan was belly-to-belly suplexing one of the Miztourage guys, I believe it was Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel backed up to the ropes. A blind tag by The Miz. Ref saw it. Obviously, Jason Jordan doesn't see it because no babyface sees it. And so with that being said, Jason Jordan had his back turned. Miz was able to sneak up behind him and get him with the skull-crushing finale. All in all, wasn't a bad match. The thing I thought was kind of odd is how the Barclays Center may be half full during the kickoff. And so I was kind of surprised to see them starting the match off so early without having actual fans there. But that's besides the point. This is a long card, so we're going to keep moving forward. The next match we had was the Cruiserweight Championship between Neville and your champion, Akira Tozawa. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I have no idea how Akira Tozawa became the champion. I must have been doing laundry or something during that part of Monday Night Raw. But somehow he pinned Neville clean. Now, during this kickoff show, that's a different story. We all three of us, picked that Neville was going over. I mean, Neville, the king of the cruiserweights, beat everybody. Tozawa has been beaten by most of them. And so why would you have Tozawa hold a reigning title? And so, I mean, all in all, it wasn't memorable. I mean, you had Neville doing what Neville does best. I mean, he had some good selling. He sold his injuries. He sold some injuries that Tozawa put on him. But Tozawa just couldn't hang with Neville. Neville hit the red arrow and got him. I mean, pinned him 1, 2, 3. I mean, even though his reign was interrupted for 2 weeks, 1 week, he's still the best cruiserweight they got right now. I don't know what they're going to do next. I mean, I know we have the big cast and Enzo Amore feud, but eventually Enzo's got to go to 205. I mean, it's inevitable. I don't know if they're going to actually do it or not, but he needs to. Because, I mean, he's 206. Okay. Whatever you say there, Enzo. But right now, your in-ring wrestling ability is not what WWE, Raw, or SmackDown needs. Your charisma, your mic skills, all that is what 205 needs. Nobody really cares about 205. Neville can't carry it all on his own. He needs a voice. He needs a promo. He needs a good guy to go against his heel. I'm thinking Enzo's going to go to the Cruiserweight Classic with the 205 guys. And, I mean, it was inevitable that Neville was going to win the title back from Tozawa. Still don't even know what his gimmick is. Except, ha, ha, ha. That's it. That's all he's got. That's all I know about him. So we're going to move forward. Now, this was probably one of the better matches of the night. And I hate that it was wasted on the kickoff show. We got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos versus the New Day, the champions. Now, I was against New Day winning the championship in the first place. And so, I mean, I thought the Usos were great as a tag team. I thought they were great as champions. And they just made you love them every time. The promos, the workmanship, all of it just great. But during this match, I was happy. I don't think I'm trying to remember what my predictions were, or what everyone's predictions were. But I mean, the Usos go over. It was awesome to watch. They kept the energy up. The match was creative. There's a lot of double teaming, which I love. I feel that the Revival brought back old school tag team wrestling where they cut off the ring, and now it's translating into the New Day. It's translating into the Usos. We're cutting off the ring. We're going old school style, and it's just making it more entertaining, mainly. And so, Usos go over against the New Day, and now are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions once again. So happy that this has happened. We'll see if they can hold on to the title, because obviously New Day is going to have a rematch. And I'd hate if New Day won it, so Usos can have a rematch, and New Day, back and forth. That's how Randy Orton and John Cena became 13 and 16 time champions. Just saying. But now we're going to move into the main card. We had John Cena versus Baron Corbin. Now, I don't know what they're doing with Baron Corbin. I mean, like we mentioned before, he was Money in the Bank champion, lost the Money in the Bank, second person next to Santino Marella, and with a stupid behind the back roll up schoolboy pen. I mean, why? Why even? What was the point? Now, I know rumor has it that he's been ruffling feathers backstage with Twitter and things like that. So I'm sure that probably has something to do with it. He doesn't have the best attitude, but he's a heel. He's not supposed to have a good attitude. And so what do? We throw him to John Cena. Now, I'm not one to believe that John Cena goes out and buries everybody. I think he honestly wants to help the young guys, the young wrestlers, so that he can eventually retire. I thought that's what he was trying to do yesterday with Baron Corbin. But, I mean, Baron Corbin was doing great. You could tell John Cena was carrying the match, telling him when to back off, do some heelish things. They made it obvious. But, I mean, he pulled it off. He did well. But, as we know, it always happens. We do what? Shoulder block, spine buster, attitude adjustment. I mean, it's It's like clockwork. Like JBL says, John Cena does great in big time matches. Even though he was like the curtain jerker in this card, he does what John Cena does best. He does the attitude adjustment, goes over. Baron Corbin really didn't stand a chance. I don't know why they would have him lose so easily. I mean, it was a decent match, don't get me wrong. But I mean, you're going up against John Cena. They could have done something different. I would have, even though I don't even like Baron Corbin, I would have liked to see him go over just to give him some credibility. But I digress. Next match, we got the SmackDown Women's Championship, Natalya versus Naomi. Now, this was what I was waiting for. I know everyone, CJ included, Jess, they don't like Natalya. They're like, Natalya, just retire. But you know what? I like Natalya. I liked her when she was part of the Hart Foundation. I liked it when she came out with Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. I like her on Total Divas. I just like her personality. I like her in-ring ability. I think she's deserving of the title. So that's who my pick was. And I was so happy to see her come out on top. And I've noticed that even though Natalya's always been the babyface, Natalya's a heel, she's good. I mean, the only thing holding her back when she was a babyface was her naiveness. And now that's out the window. I love how she's using the ring to her advantage. I mean, turnbuckles galore. Just dropping people on the turnbuckles and then rolling them up, sharpshootering them. I mean, this is her new moveset, and I think it's awesome. I'm so glad she won. I anticipated I didn't think they were going to do it because Baron Corbin cashed in failed. Just like we had Carmella come out, circle the ring when she was the champion, or when she was the Money in the Bank champion. Baron Corbin came out the next day and did the same thing. It seemed like this was very forced, and so I feel that because Baron Corbin came out, cashed in and lost, I didn't expect to see Carmella do it. And I was so happy to see Carmella stay backstage, not interfere, let Natty have her moment, and we'll see what happens on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown with the women's division. I mean, I'm sure Carmella's going to come out on SmackDown and blow smoke and challenge her, but I want to see Natalya keep the reign for a while. She deserves it. She's a good worker, good wrestler, good promo on the mic. She deserves this. So I'm glad to see Natalya win. Our next match we have Big Cass and Big Show with Enzo Amore in the Shark Tank. So, where do I begin? I did like to see Big Show playing off the broken hand. Even when he got off the one punch, he played it. Big Cass was able to kick out of it, showing that it was injured. It wasn't as powerful as before, but yet he was still giving Big Cass a run for his money. Enzo was doing what Enzo does best, talking game, spitting game. I did not expect to see him strip down into his boxers, pouring oil all over him to squeeze through the shark cage bars. I did not see that coming at all. But besides the point, I was shocked to see Big Cass go over. But it makes sense why he would go over, just because Big Show's a veteran. Big Cass needs this big push for a singles run. I mean, it was obvious. I just don't like Big Cass. I love the Big Show. I think he deserves to win everything because he's a giant. I mean, come on, people. He's a giant with a knockout punch. Why isn't he winning more? But I know WWE Universe style, veterans have to put over the new guys. But all in all, it was an entertaining match. I know not everybody liked it. I think the crowd was even chanting, "This is boring." But I like watching the Big Show work. I think he's a good salesman. I think he sells his injuries perfectly. He doesn't go all out to make you think, even though he's a giant, He can't take it. He sells when he needs to sell. Let's see. The next one we got is Randy Orton Rusev. Biggest waste of time. It made no sense because, I mean, let's be real. Randy Orton and Rusev didn't really have build up for a match, but I love how they made the RKO come out of nowhere. It was like, what, 10 seconds and it was over? Randy Orton's my man. I'm glad to see him win. Let's see. We got the Raw Women's Championship with Natalya, Alexa Bliss, my girl, versus Sasha Banks. Now, I did not see this coming at all, but my money was always on Alexa Bliss. She's a great heel, a great championship. I mean, great on the mic, perfect in-ring ability. She does what heels do. She cheats. She uses her opponent's naiveness to her advantage. And that's what I love to see. I love to see heels doing what they're supposed to do and succeeding. That's what heels are supposed to do. I don't know why we don't do it more often. Kevin Owens does it. Alexa Bliss does it. I think it should continue. But all in all, it was a great match. I'm not a big fan of Sasha Banks for the sole fact that every time she wins the championship, she gets hurt and something happens to where she just can't take it. I don't know if it's poor conditioning. I don't want to speculate on what her problem is, but she comes out on top. She wins, and the one thing I don't like is the submission. She wins by submission. I think that's like her only move now, is the submission. But what can I say? She won. I just hope that with Sasha Banks now as the Raw Women's Champion, they do something with this. I don't want to see her win it just to lose it again or to get hurt and have to give it up again. I mean, she's been the 4-time champion, but she has no title reign per se. And so, I mean, I hope they do something with her. I'll be so disappointed if it falls through and they ruined Alexa Bliss's title reign for semantics. But Sasha Banks goes over with the bank statement, and yeah, sad day. Now, one of the other matches that I thought was one of the better matches of the night, next to the kickoff show, Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. I love the promo build-up to get Bray Wyatt getting into Finn Balor's head to turn him into the Demon. The only problem I have with Finn Balor and the Demon is I wish he was more like Kane and Corporate Kane. I don't mind Finn Balor from the Balor Club or the Bullet Club getting hurt, getting beat up, losing. But just like the Big Red Machine, he was unstoppable with the mask. I'm just hoping that if they continue with the Demon gimmick, that they give him like an invincibility or something. Give him something that sets him apart besides just the cool entrance, which, don't even get me started, the entrance is amazing, and the cool paint job. But pretty much, Finn Balor came out strong. I didn't really see too much of Bray Wyatt doing much of anything. I mean, I hate using this term, but he jobbed out to him. And, I mean, you had Finn Balor going up there when Bray Wyatt does his little backward spider walk. Balor jumps up off the ground, does like a demon scream, Bray Wyatt kind of stumbles back, and he goes right into his moveset. Running sling blade, then he does his missile drop kick to start with his coup de grace finisher. I think Finn Balor's amazing. Great worker. I'm loving his promos. I wish they would do something more with Bray Wyatt. He has potential. I hate to see him build himself up and up and up just to job out. But it is what it is. Finn Balor went over. I'm happy overall with the finish. Now we got the Raw Tag Team Championships, which this blew my mind. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro, the champions. What I did not like was, I didn't really like the outcome. Not so much because I was against it when I did my predictions, but Sheamus and Cesaro were great champion heels. I love the way they work together. And the odds, besides Big Show and Jericho, there weren't really many that I can think of tag teams put together where they became champions when they were really two single guys with single runs. I understand that, you could say Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins were part of the Shield. They were a team before, they're a team now. I see that after the fact, obviously. But, I thought it would have been great if Dean Ambrose did maybe like a heel turn on Seth. But everybody loves Dean. He's like kind of the Steve Austin light in my mind, which I'm all about. I like Dean Ambrose. I think he's great. I love Steve Austin and Stone Cold. And so, the way he works, I think it's awesome. But yeah, overall, decent match. No complaints. The crowd loved it. You had, at least in my mind they did, you had the Shield reunite. One thing I did think was funny is how there was a beach ball going around. So Cesaro jumped out there and grabbed it and tore it up, which I thought was great. He's a heel. Do heel things. This is why I love the heels. But that's besides the point. Overall, the match was pretty good. I wish the finish was a little better than just the super kicks and the dirty deeds, but it is what it is. Sheamus is strong. You had to do something strong to take him out. So, all in all, good match. You got Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins now as your Raw Tag Team Champions. Let's see where they can go from here, because they need to keep it if they're going to make this Shield-esque reunion work. So we'll see what happens. Now we got your United States Champion, AJ Styles, versus Kevin Owens, with the special guest referee as Shane McMahon. Now, one thing I did love is AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, great workers, great performers, excellent promos, Kevin Owens especially. I got nothing but great things to say about this match. I love how it goes back and forth. I'm not a big fan of false finishes, but I am with these guys. I loved how McMahon stayed true to what he does. He took it seriously. He was calling it right down the middle. Yeah, they had AJ get in his face. They had Kevin Owens get in his face. But all in all, great match. I loved the fact that they screwed Kevin Owens over again with AJ's foot on the ropes. 3 count was called, but Shane saw it, pulled the call back, and then AJ Styles took over and made Kevin Owens tap with the calf crusher. I hope that come time on SmackDown that they keep moving forward with this feud. I know not so much with the Kevin Owens AJ Styles feud, but Kevin Owens and McMahon feud. Kevin Owens is constantly being screwed over in his mind. I want to see this keep going. I want to see where it goes. Let's see, what is our next match? We have one of the semi-mains. We have the WWE Championship. Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Have I told you guys that I just hate the Singh brothers? But I don't understand why they won't let Jinder Mahal fight his own battles. And I'm okay, don't get me wrong, because I've been saying it through the whole podcast and previous podcasts. I am all about heels doing heelish things. I love it. What I don't like is how we follow the rules for the majority of everyone's match, but when Jinder Mahal's match comes into play and we have the Singh brothers interfering, literally getting in the ring and fighting the opponent, why does the match continue? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. And then all it does is it makes any babyface that goes up against Jinder look stupid, because they focus their attention on the Singh brothers, and then they just get, what do you know, the Colossus, or whatever he calls it, the Cobra Clutch Slam. Let's be real. He does the Cobra Clutch Slam, and then he pins him. It's like one of the most protected finishes in the game right now. And Nakamura lost. And I hope that they do something with him. But what I don't want to see are these great baby faces, great workers, being jobbed out to Jinder for some reason. I don't know why. It's going to make a huge pop and explosion when Jinder finally loses the championship. Like, I know what they're going for, but I don't understand why they're jobbing out great wrestlers. I hope Nakamura gets a second shot. I hope they put some stipulation in where the Singh brothers can't interfere. I'm all about Jinder not winning without the Singh brothers and only winning with the Singh brothers. Just make it look believable is all I ask, guys. That's all I ask. But now we get to the main event, which, I'm just going to say it was amazing. I wasn't a huge Braun Strowman guy, but this showing of Braun, perfect. I mean, he came out and, as Corey Graves said, monster handled the Beast. No, he manhandled the Beast. Not one, but power slamming him through 2 tables and throwing a 3rd table on him to where Brock had to be escorted by stretcher to the back. And then, I mean, you have the 3 guys going back and forth. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. Just Strowman just dominating. But then, of course, can't have Lesnar go out by himself. Lesnar comes back. It makes me like Lesnar even more. I love that he never gives up. I love the presence he brings, ultimately. He comes back out, going right for Braun Strowman. Punch for punch, just going back and forth. Let me try and remember how it ends. But pretty much the match just keeps going. It was a great match. A lot of near falls, which, like I said, I'm not normally for. But if it's done right, it works. But we had Reigns hit Lesnar with 3 straight just Superman punches. We went for the spear, but Lesnar caught him in an F5. I love the fact that we keep hearing Roman Reigns, the big dog, but yet he had a great match at WrestleMania with Brock. I don't know why now he can't touch him. And I mean, 3 Superman punches, going for the spear to be caught for an F5 and pinned. And I love the fact that they pinned Roman Reigns with Brock, because you still protect Braun and you still protect Samoa Joe. It's understood that Roman Reigns, he put in a good effort against Brock Lesnar during WrestleMania, and I believe he won, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but I love the fact that we're kind of moving past the Lesnar Roman Reigns feud, but yet we still protect Samoa Joe because everybody wants to see Samoa Joe as a champion, and now we really want to see Braun as the champion. So I'm hoping we go forward with something. Some of the rumors I've heard, Braun against Brock, to let Brock have some time off. I think that'll be amazing. I hope they go through it. I just hope if they do a singles one-off, they don't ruin the momentum that Braun is having. He's a great promo now. I mean, I'm not finished with you yet. Can't beat that right now. And he's a monster. Don't do what they've done with Nia Jax. Don't have him be submitted. Don't have him be pinned. Keep him strong. He's a monster. Work with me, people. So, now we're getting to the finish. The points. Now, it hurts me. It hurts me to see this go. But your winner of this SummerSlam predictions was CJ. Here's the kicker. CJ is not here to claim or defend. And I know with all my heart CJ would want the title to be defended and to be carried. And right now, rest his soul, because he's in a medically induced coma. Our prayers are with you, CJ. He would want me, who came in second, to continue the title reign and carry it. For him, of course. And whenever he comes back, he can have his rematch. But out of the goodness of my heart and CJ's memory right now, since he's not with us, I will carry the championship for another month as your podcast predictions champion. CJ, your thoughts, you're in my thoughts and prayers, and I know all the Kayfabers are praying for you. Pull through, CJ, so you can come get your title. But until then, I'll be your champion. So, I'm going to have to sign off now. I'm going to go see CJ, see how he's doing, sit with him. They say in comas you can still hear people talk. So I'm going to let him know that the title's safe with me. It'll remain with me until he returns. And I know that's what he would want. And we will get down to the bottom of what happened that night. Mark my words. Justice will be served. This is your temporary host, Dr. Dapper, signing off.